bopping to the music?
I wrote it, so like of course I'm gonna bop to it.
As well as you should. As well as you should. I couldn't hear it because of the way I have the settings set. I can't, so I just like to imagine it.
Yeah, so I listen to it every time because I am scarred from our first recording, so I listen until I hear my own voice and then I mute. So that's why my intro's always a little awkward.
So I was like, hello? Hello.
Yeah, that first second, there's absolutely no confidence in my voice, and I need everyone to know it is because there is no confidence in that 1 second.
No, no. It's just despair until hope sets in. And then when you hear your
Ooh,
voice, yeah.
what was that like? Is that Byron? That felt like Lord Byron.
No, that was just me.
Wow.
Very very deep, right? Very deep, ladies.
Yeah. Subscribe to our channel for more content like this.
Follow, and I promise I'll stop at the jokes.
She will not.
No, I won't. That's for subscribers only.
Subscribers get you completely boring. If you subscribe, you can come to our Patreon where neither of us put any charisma or stank behind our voice. We just talk.
We just sit there. Hello, Dan.
Yep.
How are you today?
I am doing well. How are you today?
Very good. That's what you'll get when you subscribe.
Yeah, if you subscribe, you get content like that, and let me tell you, it's hard to watch.
You're welcome.
What are we talking about tonight? It's Spieltember, right? We're
It's
still in Spieltember?
absolutely back to back to back. Spielberg.
Yeah. Well, so technically we should clarify to those who've watched all three episodes, or in my case, if you
This is
came
the
to watch
third.
me, two and a half.
Yeah.
2.5 episodes. Um, Obviously, last episode we did the Phantom Menace, which is a George Lucas film, but at the end of it we mentioned that we didn't actually plan for this week's episode. So when the cameras were off, we went into overdrive and we mapped out the next couple months. So we've got this planned now, and we're actually theming the months to make it a little bit more fun. So welcome to Spieltember, where we talk all about the Spielberg hits.
Well, next week I wouldn't really call it a hit, but we'll get into that next week.
I just, I feel like this is where we needed clapping. Why is no one clapping? Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, that's good enough, I guess. But yeah, so,
Just But yes, a classic. This was a classic.
you rewatched it literally this week, right?
I rewatched it literally 3 hours ago. Because
Oh
it's
man,
great.
so this is fresh.
This is so fresh. If I forgot it, that's on me.
Okay,
Um,
wait. Do you think that you could provide an adequate, let's say, elevator pitch recap of the movie that you just watched 3 hours ago? Let's say I've got a timer in front of me. You have got a 1 minute elevator ride to tell me the story of Hook. Ready, set, go.
Okay, so it's about this guy who gets like super older, and he has like these two kids, and one of the girls like in a play called Peter Pan, but that like it's kind of about the movie Peter Pan, so it's like, oh, that's kind of fun, they did it like a play. So anyways, like he's total adult is with Robin Williams, and then so they're gonna go with him and his wife and his two kids to go to England to go see like her great grandmother, who is like getting like a wing in a hospital named after her, and then like his kids get kidnapped by Captain Hook because he's like a douchebag, and so Jack has to, is his name Jack? No, that's his kid's name. Peter is the adult. Peter Pan. And then so anyways, he has to go save his kids from Captain Hook, but he's like old, so he doesn't remember who he is, so the kids have to help him remember, and then he remembers, and happy endings. Well, I don't know how long that was. I get
Wow, you
nervous.
left 15 seconds to spare. You had 15 additional seconds at the end there that you could have done something with.
I'm not good with timers. I get nervous when they get timed.
Well, that's why I didn't put a timer up on the screen. I didn't even give you verbal warnings. I just wanted you to go. What I think I like the most about this is that you forgot that the main character of this Peter Pan story was named Peter.
I called him Jack.
Jack.
That's his son's name. But he
Yeah,
also, Robin Williams does play a
Jack Pan.
character. He does play a guy named Jack in another movie, which I think is called Jack.
He does. He does play Jack in the movie Jack.
But we're not
I
here to
would
talk about
argue.
Jack.
I'd argue not. He's not like a guy in the movie. He's a kid, but still. Yes,
But in
but
this movie, he's no longer a kid. He's an adult. It's crazy, Robin Williams. Is he a kid or is he an adult? Nobody
yeah,
knows. Depends on
I
what
like
movie.
that you started. I like that you started your recap with "There's a man and he's suddenly old." And it's like, well, yeah, I guess. I guess when a movie starts, everyone's suddenly old.
I mean, he took his time growing up.
Yeah,
He's not
suddenly.
like bam old. It's not Benjamin Button here,
It was
but
a very sudden 45 years.
it was what it was knowing I was timed. I This is why I can't do elevator pitches when people are like, okay, come on, tell me your idea. I'd be like, there's a guy, and his name's Chuck. It's about Peter Pan.
Oh
Oh,
my God, so complete aside from Hook, but like elevator
yeah.
pitch related. So there's a website, I can't remember the name of it now, and that's probably for the best. I shouldn't promote them for free. Give us money. I think it's like Stage 32 or something like that. But anyway, it is a place for writers, for screenplay writers, for you can go take workshops, you can submit your work, but you
Mhm.
can also pay to pitch to an agent or a producer. You can pay to have
Oh,
like a 15-minute time slot to pitch your idea, and it's their kind of way of like, we want to get more people who aren't just already in our Hollywood web.
yeah.
And so cool concept. And I actually did it. I've done it now twice with two scripts I've written. One, I had my friend Brett do the pitch and it went pretty well. Uh, the one I did for myself, though, just to that exact point of like, I can't do an elevator pitch, I literally forgot to say the names of the characters or introduce the characters. I literally ran through my whole story without ever introducing what a protagonist was in my story.
Oh
I literally just
no.
started listing the events of the world for 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I
That's
panicked. I
so.
panicked.
I
It's
mean,
nerve-wracking.
it is. I would have to pay somebody to do the pitch for me. So pay the person to pitch it to, and then pay the people to listen. Man, that's a lot of money I have to spend.
Yeah, but if you think about it, it muddies the water, right? Like you're spending money to someone to pitch, to spend some to someone who's being paid to get pitched to. So like in reality, it's almost like you're making the system eat itself. Like yes, they're both being enriched, but like these are both people who don't care about any of this.
Right?
I don't know. It's like you're making puppets dance. We've gone a little too far off the rails, and now we need to go back to Hook because I just compared people to puppets, and I feel like we're in a dangerous place.
Right. Oh yeah, and there are no puppets in Hook, as I'm aware of. I don't think.
Are there not? Well, I mean, the crocodile's kind of like a
Yeah,
puppet.
I mean, kind of.
Kind of. He's a clock.
Yeah.
Way too big.
Which is kind of interesting because when I was reading up on the movie too, like some of the fun facts, like when they were saying they were trying to create a new Peter Pan movie, they're talking about how like the crocodile, like they're like it eats Captain Hook. How are we gonna bring back Peter Pan, like the story of Peter Pan and everything if Hook is dead? They figured it
Yeah.
out.
They figured it out. Well, and to that exact note, so one of my favorite aspects or elements of this movie, like Robin Williams is great from beginning to end, but Robin Williams is what Robin Williams is. Like
Mm,
he gives a Robin Williams performance. So if you like him, you know you're going to like this.
yeah.
For me, it is all about Dustin Hoffman and Bob Hoskins.
They were
Hook and
so
Smee.
good. I cannot imagine anybody else. And it was interesting, like, to read through, like, the different actors that they were trying to get but couldn't do it.
Mhm.
I forgot who. I know.
Yeah.
I think it was Tom Hanks originally for Robin Williams. Or maybe it was for Captain Hook. But, like, I can't imagine anybody else than Dustin Hoffman.
Well, and so what's so funny about that too is I don't remember, this was a factoid I learned. This was back in college during the I took an acting for film class. I don't know if you knew that. Professor Flugel. No big deal. Anyway, yeah, I'm kind of a big deal, guys. But I'm not at all. Um in there she told a story about like how actors find their motivations for their
Hmm.
characters, and one of the examples she used was Dustin Hoffman and Bob Hoskins in that role,
Yeah.
because they were playing very iconic roles that were supposed to still feel reminiscent of the Disney film without
Hmm.
being directly tied to the Disney film. And apparently to Dustin Hoffman and Bob Hoskins, they thought, well, why don't we just make them an old married couple? Why
That's
don't we just
so.
make them an old gay married couple?
Yes.
And Steven Spielberg was like, God, no, do not do that, guys. So they did it without ever actually like acting it out, but like that
Yeah.
was the subtext that they were trying to like weave through the film, and it's perfect. They're perfect. That scene where he's like, "Don't, I'm trying to kill myself, Shmi.
Yeah, and
Don't try
he's
to stop me."
no, and he's like, "It's me," like come stop me.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
God,
well,
what a movie.
yeah. I mean, because you really do see them. Like it almost reminds me of oh crap, what was that show from the 70s? It's like Archie, and she's always like
Oh,
Archie.
All in the Family.
All in the Family. That's kind of what it reminds me of, like Dustin Hoffman. It's kind of like Archie, and then Simi is kind of
Yeah,
like kind of that concept of like that married couple that's been together for years, and you got the old cranky guy.
exactly. Because like they're Smee's heard it all before. He has been
Mm-hmm.
stuck with this cranky pirate captain for what I'm assuming, because Neverland seems endless, I'm assuming is eternity.
Mm-hmm. At
So
least.
like he knows it all. He's not surprised by it anymore.
Yeah.
He just, this is just James Hook. This is what he does, who he is.
Yeah. This is Jimmy. Just good old Jimmy. Jimmy Hook.
Do you think that this movie was called Hook because they wanted it to be like, do you think the screenplay was originally more about Captain Hook?
I feel like it.
Yeah.
Probably. Because I feel like the concept was wanting like a new Peter Pan movie, but like explain. I don't know.
Well, because like
But like, how do you
it's,
bring back Hook? Like, how do we make this like scary guy again?
if you think about it, like Peter Pan in that movie, Robin Williams in that movie, he has the hero's journey, but he
Hmm.
never chooses the hero's journey. He ultimately just has to do it to get to his kids, right? Like that's why he goes through the training. That's why he tries to become the Pan. Um, but like Hook's motivation through the whole movie is really flushed out. Like his motivation is he has been stalking Wendy and watching, waiting for when
Hmm.
Pan would return to that window again. When Pan and his family did come back, kidnapped his kids to provoke him back to Neverland, knowing that Peter would come to fight his greatest enemy. Then when his
Yeah.
greatest enemy arrives, he's utterly disappointed
Well,
because he's just a flabby old man now. He's just,
he's
right?
got dad bod. I wonder.
Yeah,
I I wonder if like originally the script was written from like almost like the point of view or like sympathy for Hook.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying is
yeah, for sure.
like the fact that like, he never really got an opportunity to have a fair fight with, because like if you think about it, it's kind of messed up. Hook is the villain of a child.
Yeah.
Like he arches a like 9-year-old.
Imagine your
That's
life.
weird.
Imagine your life that you want to just constantly fight a 9 year
Yeah,
old.
yeah. Like
You gotta have something
if there
else
was
to
a
do.
9-year-old on your block who like was kind of a shit, like sure, I get not liking that 9-year-old, but like, would you go out of your way to kidnap that 9-year-old's girlfriend in order to try and lure that 9-year-old to your ship?
I mean, you, no, you shouldn't. But you gotta hand it to the guy. That's actually kind of clever. This nine
We're
year
not
old, I can't
promoting that,
stand
by the
him.
way, guys. If
No, we're
anyone's trying
not.
to take care of an annoying 9-year-old in your neighborhood, stealing their girlfriend is not the method. The correct method is just
Just
don't
let it
worry about
go.
it. It's a 9-year-old.
Let it go. It's a 9 year old.
Be the
Fine.
bigger person,
Fine.
literally.
Yeah. Find a hobby. Um, I just alright. Just think about it from the perspective of Hook. You know what? I'm gonna get his girlfriend, and I'm gonna show him what's up. I'm gonna take his kids. It's kind of
I'm gonna take him.
it's
I'm
like
gonna
a
take him into
19.
a cave, tie him up, try to feed him to a
It's like
crocodile.
a mobster. Like I'm gonna take him and his entire family, the kids, the wife. I want them dead, all
You
dead.
know what? You know what though? That's us putting our modern perspective on it because you got to remember when Peter Pan was written, we're talking like kids in workhouses. Like I'm sure people did have 9-year-old arch enemies in like adults had 9-year-old arch enemies in their daily life. Like that one shitty kid who like embarrassed you in front of your boss
Yeah.
in the factory and like you didn't get the promotion, they did, and they're just standing up on the railing crowing like an asshole, and you're just like, I fucking hate that kid.
So
And I've got this hook for a hand.
this is what I have thanks to that kid. I
This
used
damn
to.
kid.
You know what? Actually, just kind of funny when I was watching that movie. I was like, God, all around everyone's so violent. Like for a kids movie, like thinking, yeah,
Yeah.
there's the pirates that are like, oh, we're gonna kill Peter Pan. We're gonna kill the kids. Kill anyone. More impressions, please. Absolutely. But even when they like meet Peter Pan, or right, just Peter before he realizes it's Peter
Sure.
Pan, how
Peter
everyone's like,
Panning.
right? Rufio's like, let's kill him. He's old. He's grown adult. And I'm like, good lord, like
Dude,
children.
chill.
And they're all chasing him. You know, Rufio's like, kind of like on the skating, if you will, on the little, not roller coaster, the path, like the path.
Yeah, I don't know what you would call it because it was kind of like a
Kinda like a
streetcar hang glider.
Yeah, yeah. But he's chasing him, and all the kids are chasing him. They all got swords, and I'm just like, what is going? They do need an adult. They need somebody to tell them you can't be stabbing people.
Absolutely. So, like, there's a certain point where, like, yes, okay, Lost Boys are cute when, like, Wendy Darling is there and
Mhm.
she's acting as, like, a mother and you're seeing this sweet child side under the wild child. But, like, on the flip side of that, when Wendy isn't there, this is some Lord of the Flies shit. Like, you
Yes.
think Rufio has Pan's sword because he was given it? No, he probably killed someone to get it.
I think he killed another
That's
kid.
Lost Boys. Yeah, probably.
But you know what I mean? I mean, I was thinking they were going to kill him. Until
Mhm.
that one kid, I forgot his name, but they were, like, you know, he's touching his face and he's like, "You are Peter Pan." I was
Yeah.
like, thank God he got someone to vouch for him, because
Whew, thank God that kid knew to push my cheeks back.
He's
Otherwise,
like, I recognize those teeth anywhere.
uh, I know that grill. Man, you know, speaking of grills in that movie, Julia Roberts, she has a very big mouth. That felt like a good transition. Did you know that she was such a pain in the ass to work with on that movie that Steven Spielberg decided to never work with her again and has not worked with her ever again?
I never realized he'd stopped work. Like, yeah, that he hasn't done a film with her. He's done so many, and so has she. But I guess I never realized.
Yeah, you know what though? To be fair, I haven't double checked that they haven't recanted on that since I learned the factoid. But like, yes, she was apparently very difficult to deal with, which is also why most of her scenes were filmed alone.
Well, that is true. I never realized that. But I did read that, or somewhere that they said it was because she was such a pain in the butt. Because I guess she was going through a rough time in her personal life. She had just broken up with Kiefer Sutherland, and
That'll do it to you.
yeah, right. But then, like, something else, like, she was starting a new relationship, just broke up with him. There was something else going on in her personal life that she was just such a hot mess. Apparently, I feel like such a gossiper.
I know.
Apparently,
I'm looking it up too while you're doing it. Go on, dish.
get this. So, I don't know if it was like a stunt person or somebody on the crew or an actor. His name was Kifo. And I guess somebody said Kifo, and she thought they said Kiefer. And so I guess she was like flipping out, like, security, how did he get here? Da 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 da. And so they had to tell her, like, we're not talking about Kiefer Sutherland, we're talking about Kifo. I can't remember if it was like another actor or like somebody on the crew. But yeah, like,
Probably someone on the crew. I can't imagine an actor named Kifo. But you know
well,
what?
I
I
can't
take that
imagine the
back.
name Kiefer, but here we are.
Touche. Where did that name come from?
But yeah, so but like I was reading somewhere where I guess like Spielberg was a little bit trying to, I guess, empathize with her because of
Sure.
all that personal, but at the same time she was like, I guess, like, just high, like, intensity, not a hot mess, but just angry all the time, short fused.
well, this was her, not at necessarily her peak, but I think this was like the first couple years after the peak, right? Like this was
Mm-hmm.
those couple years after Pretty Woman. She hadn't quite made it to the Oscar roles yet,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like she wasn't in her Aaron Brockovich phase. So like Hook
Yeah.
was her coming out of tabloid Julia Roberts into actress Julia Roberts, I feel like.
And you know, it's actually interesting too. Of all her films, like this one, I felt like probably. I wonder if it was a little bit of a challenge for her because she has to be so kid-like. When you think about all her movies, she's never. She's either like it's a little bit more serious. It's never just a kid, but like watching her like twirl around, she goes, "Come on, guys, I gotta eat food now," you know. And she's sitting there like throwing imaginary food in her mouth. Like you just have to believe. Come on, you know, like that. Just like it's a
You're not,
completely different peppiness and just like having to be
did you
like
not buy that? Were you,
I
you didn't
bought
buy
it.
her as Tinkerbell?
You know when I did actually. I really did when I first watched it. I still do, but it's interesting like thinking all her roles. It's like wow, that I wonder if that was like a little bit of challenge for her. I mean, did you buy it? I bought it. I thought she was a pretty good Tinkerbell.
She was all right. She was definitely the weakest part of the movie to me. Like her, I think that one scene was very uncomfortable. And I know you know what scene, the one in the tree.
Is that when she like tries to have like her and Peter like she basically professes her love? I
Yeah.
feel like that
And like
was could have been taken out.
there was something about that scene that like mars her whole story. I don't know.
It just it didn't move the plot. There was no purpose for it other than to just make it a little comfortable. I don't know.
Yeah, because like he's married with kids. Like
He's Al
I
Bundy.
expect him to not be like, oh my God, Tink, I never knew. I loved you too this whole time.
After all these years,
Yeah,
which we
like
can't count because we've been in
after all
Neverland.
these years and amnesia, I realized that it's been you the whole
I
time.
mean, we can figure this out. I'm a grown adult. You're a fairy. We can make this work.
Also, even though I absolutely love what's his name, Dante Brasco, not Brasco, Brasco,
I said Ruby. Rufio.
Rufio. Yeah, I'm forgetting
Rufio.
Rufio. Even though I absolutely love the actor,
Hmm.
Rufio is a real piece of shit. I'm just
In
gonna
real
say that right
life?
now. No, no,
Oh.
no. The actor is a delightful human being.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
I'm
say I don't know
sure.
much.
He's Prince Zuko. He is fine.
I'm just making
What
sure.
what I'm saying is the character of Rufio is
Is a
a
tool.
super huge, super huge asshole.
Absolutely. I was
And
so
like
nervous for a second.
it's kind of like yes, the scene where he gets stabbed is very shocking, but like also he was kind of like a second or third tier antagonist for part of the film, so like I didn't feel that bad.
Yeah, like if there was like boss levels, right, to get to the big boss, right? Of Captain Hook, he's like level
Yeah.
one. You got to get past that one. This is like a
Well, I guess he's
video
more
game
the
or something.
anime that anime trope, the rival. He's not an enemy. He's
A frenemy.
frenemy. Yeah, he's a frenemy.
But
He's
well,
senpai. Notice me.
huh?
Nothing. Go ahead. There's an anime joke that
Oh,
is old like me.
I don't watch anime.
Yeah, I don't really anymore either. It's an internet joke that relates to anime. I guess that's better. And now
Oh.
it's just gotten very weird. We're off the rails now, and this is going to be a clip. This is going to be a clip now, and we're going to be stuck with it.
Don't you just love him like, oh,
Oh,
anyways.
yeah, you really yes-anded me there.
I just didn't know. I didn't know where we're going.
It's okay.
So I just had
It's
to
okay.
stop.
Hey, you know what? That is what Peter Pan would have wanted.
Just just for me to stop.
Just stop it all. No
Just stop.
adventure. Well, sorry, Peter Panning would have wanted.
Not
No
Jack.
adventure. Not
Jack.
Jack.
Only
Again,
Jack.
I I didn't think about it until this moment, but like literally his name, if Pan really is his last name, not Panning, his kid's name is Jack Pan. It's just, yeah, that's just intrinsically a very funny name to me. Jack Pan.
That's a last name that's funny. Maggie Pan sounds good. Actually Pan. I don't know. Pan doesn't sound good unless it has Peter in front of it. But I'm sure.
Peter only works with Pan
I think so.
or frying. Um, I did appreciate that Maggie Smith was in this movie. And because she's amazing, she's incredible. Um, but for some reason, this movie is what set the tone in my brain for how old she was as a person.
Yeah.
And so she as an actress seemed to become younger to me as I aged, because I pictured her as Wendy from this film.
I know, that poor woman. I think she has been made to look the same age no matter what she does, whether it's Harry Potter, Downtown Abbey.
Downtown Abbey.
Right? Is that what it's called?
No, but I'm not going to correct you. I like Downtown Abbey.
I didn't watch it. What's it called?
Downtown Abbey. You're doing great. Keep going.
She was in Secret Garden. Sister Act 1 and 2. I swear she's looked the same in all those. Now I'm gonna.
I forgot she was in that. Oh my god.
How can you forget her?
That's a movie I need to rewatch. I will say I don't think I've actually watched the Sister Acts. I have not watched the Sister Act movies since we realized Y2K wasn't real.
Oh.
Like, I have not seen it in the new millennium.
Oh, you should. It's on Disney Plus. Downtown. Oh, Downtown. Downton.
Downton. Downtown Abbey.
It's like Downton? Okay, here we go. All right, well, close enough.
Yeah, you know what?
I'm not British. I don't know these things. My mother does, and she's
my wife British. Does. My wife loves Downton Abbey. My mom does too, actually. So yeah, no, like really everyone in my life likes Downton Abbey. I just never got into it.
Yeah.
Didn't do it for me. Didn't have enough explosions. That's the honest answer. There's some, not enough.
I've never seen it, so I can't really speak to it, but I just remember seeing it when I was looking up at Maggie Smith's filmography.
You know what? While we're talking, I am actually going to look it up because I feel like she was probably in a lot of other things that I saw.
She was in. I swear to God, she was in Secret Garden. That one I want to make sure. But she's in everything. She's literally in everything, even in Neverland.
Now May is going to be Maggie Smith month. We're just going to do.
That'd be fun.
Maggie Smith. That's so dumb, guys. Don't.
I like it. I'm sold.
Don't everyone laugh at once, please.
She's been in so many movies that are retro enough.
I guess.
Well, Secret Garden.
We can't do Hook again.
We could do Sister Act. Okay, we got to get back on Hook. I mean,
we can do Sister Act. We can do First Wives Club.
I love First Wives Club. Oh my God, I love that movie. I love that movie. Oh my God.
Oh, and technically we can do the first Harry Potter movie by our own standards because that came out in 2001.
And I do remember the great fight between Harry Potter versus Lord of the Rings, even though they're not the same thing, but that was still...
Not the same and should not have been competing. They both are fantasy for different type of fantasy enjoyers.
But that was the time. That was the time. But we should probably circle back, though, to Hook.
I don't want to. I'm done with Hook now.
All right, so First Wives Club. That movie. We have to add that one to the list. Or if we're going to do a Maggie Smith thing.
Maggie Smith. I'm not going to forget Maggie Smith.
Maggie.
Maggie Smith. It's going to be great.
It's Maggie. Maggie. That's so far
Maggie
away.
Smith.
It's September.
Yeah. You got to let the good ones mature.
And that she has. I swear that woman is just, like, she's been in everything, and she's, I mean, like I said, she's always looked the same.
Oh, yeah.
Can you believe that, though? But, I mean, they did a pretty good job on her makeup. Oh, speaking of fun appearances, because I know we mentioned this, I think offline before we came on talking about like Glenn
Oh yeah,
Close.
yeah, 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 yeah.
All of them, like all the like cameos and stuff that were in there that I had no idea. Well, like Glenn Close, I remember that. You
Yeah,
told me.
Glenn Close was the big one. If you don't know where Glenn Close, do you want to explain Glenn Close's scene to everyone?
Yeah, there was like so Jack was there. No, there was like a scene at the beginning where Captain Hook was like, "Oh, nobody doubted me, right? Nobody doubted me except I believe there was someone that doubted me." And he's looking at all the pirates and he like points at one and everyone's like, "Huh?" And he's like, "No, no." And he gets down and then he goes up to this pirate that's Glenn Close and he's like, "You're the one who doubted me." And she's like, "But she's like a pirate." So she's like, "Oh no, not me." And then they like put her in the box or something, and then they put like
Boo box.
scorpions in there.
Yeah, the boo box.
Yeah,
Not the boo
and
box.
she was
Yeah,
like, and I mean they dressed her up like a male
a
pirate,
guy.
so you couldn't
Yeah.
tell, you couldn't know, like it didn't look like her at all. Um,
Oh, this is where, like, you know what? In this moment, we need to figure out how on our stream to be able to put pictures in those arcades beneath us, in the cabinets below.
oh
That way, we
yeah.
could like throw up a picture of Glenn
Oh,
Close.
that would be so easy if I thought about that before.
That's okay.
Yeah, we
We
just
got
add
that for
little.
next week.
I can yeah. Ooh, crystal skull. Um, yeah, I just add little images and I could just add them in really easily because I do that with the other
Boom.
one. But
Yeah.
I don't
See,
want to
look
do
at
that
that.
now because then you guys like because I have it set to my screen to record her screen so you just see me googling Glenn Close and Hook.
Glenn Close in Hook
And then
screaming.
because I know four people are watching me, I'll all of a sudden get nervous and not be able to like type. I'm like, where's the G? Um,
Dang it. So yeah, there's Glenn Close. Then another cameo when when Jack is being taken to Neverland by Tink. Uh, the pixie dust twinkles over a couple that's embracing on a bridge in London, and that couple is George Lucas and Carrie Fisher.
that's like that was actually pretty cool. I had no idea that.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
especially because I thought they hated each other, but
but
that's
that was their hug. That's we're doing this. That or I don't know. Maybe Spielberg paid them just enough. Well,
well, no, Spielberg and Lucas. I mean,
they're
they do
friends.
do tributes to each other all the time. Like
Yeah.
literally in I can't remember which of the prequel Star Wars. One of the Senates that you see is the aliens from ET. They're
Oh,
on a platform represented in the Galactic Senate.
I didn't
So
know
like yeah,
that.
they do little nods to each other constantly because they write together a lot. Like
Yeah.
Steven directs and writes Indiana Jones, but George Lucas has also written most of that with him. So
Yeah. Well, and I was also gonna say, I think Carrie Fisher did some writing of the script for Hook, or I think she
hmm
like did. I think it was mostly like Tinkerbell's lines. Like I think she kind of rewrote them or tried to make write them in a way like for Tinkerbell, right?
she she probably
I'm sure she probably did her.
if I had to guess, George Lucas wrote the original Tinkerbell dialogue, and it was just as good as "I hate sand. It's coarse and gets everywhere." And Steven was just like, "Oh my God, I need someone to fix this, please. Who can make Julia Roberts a convincing Tinkerbell?" And Carrie Fisher, being the hero she always was, stepped up and was like,
I got
"That."
this. Sand is great. No, but the lines were really good. So I mean, Tinkerbell, it was good. It had that childlike sense to that. So thank you, Carrie Fisher, for saving that. Especially because I read
Yeah.
too that Steven Spielberg wasn't very confident in the script at all. He wasn't really a fan of it, but it turned out great.
You
We all
know,
loved it.
well, but so that's the interesting part. And this is the part so everyone we have known growing up, like people in our sphere, it's been a pretty positive conversation about Hook. Like people call it corny. There are some people who don't like obsess about it, but like it's been relatively positive.
Mm-hmm.
Did you in your research come across the critical response to Hook?
Yes. That I guess like it was like 29%, 28% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the critics absolutely hated that movie. And then yeah,
They
like Spielberg wasn't a fan.
despised it, and so like because at the time it was very pre-internet. Like this was
Hmm.
what, 1991.
Oh yeah, you trusted the critics back then. If
The
you're gonna go
critic's
see.
voice was what. Yep, and so like there were a lot of kids who didn't see this movie
Hmm.
until VHS because when it came out, it was a big blockbuster, so everyone was talking about it, but it was only negatively because it was
Yeah.
critics just like shitting all over this movie. And like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, there are absolutely faults with the movie. Like, no one's saying it's perfect. It is corny,
It is
but like,
perfect.
oh, all right.
Continue.
The mermaid scene was also very uncomfortable. I would mark that against the perfection of the film.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. It's like an
Yeah.
A minus. Okay.
No, but like it's just interesting because I remember even my own parents, like when we walked out of the movie, being like in that mindset of just like, yeah, critics were right, it wasn't that good. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? That was
Yeah.
great. Did you see that Robin Williams flew?
It's incredible.
I'm 6 years old and I know that this is badass.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, and it's funny because, like, I guess, like, you could say, maybe some adults were like, oh, that was just terrible. But even rewatching it as an adult, there's some jokes in there that I appreciate as an adult that I couldn't
Yeah,
as a
well,
kid.
I think that's Robin Williams. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think Robin Williams, I'm really, so he's always been one of my absolute favorite actors. He's like that, like, he's like my film dad, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
when you think of that actor who you like was the father figure in films, like who was that one that you
Yeah.
always believed? That was Robin Williams to me. He was my film dad. Um, and so like he had this really unique way, and actually, it was one of our film professors who talked about this, but he had a really unique way of like channeling his own arrested development, like his own juvenile humor
Mm-hmm.
into family friendly facing audiences. So like he was really good at like crafting a joke in a way that kids would be oblivious to it,
Mm-hmm.
but every adult in the room would catch it. Like he
Yeah.
was very good at finding what was that line, but it was also that like dated him as an actor because
Mm-hmm.
like his impressions were always a little dated by comparison. But still, I love him.
I
I love
know.
that man.
It's so
Miss
great.
him.
I know, me too. Like, it's so sad. I think, like, we'll never have, like, another movie or show or anything with him in it.
Yeah. Yeah, because like there was more, right? Like that was man. I mean, I don't want to pretend that like I could even understand what level of depression he must have been in, but like,
Yeah.
man, I don't know. There are just certain people who I feel like make the world better
Mm-hmm.
just for being in it, and he felt like one of those. And
I know.
hopefully I'm not saying this and like tomorrow we're gonna find out he's like some kind of Cosby-esque monster, like somehow that's gonna break tomorrow,
Oh my
and
god, hopefully. He just seemed
please
like a
don't.
genuinely good, great human being, you know what I mean? Like, he just seemed very genuine as a
He was a
person.
Mr. Rogers. He was an inappropriate
Hmm.
Mr. Rogers.
He was great.
And that's why he was perfect as Peter Pan.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was perfect as the child who can never grow up, all grown up.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Like what a perfect role, perfect casting.
and he does such a good job too, though. Like at the very beginning, being that kind of like scary dad, and like I don't know the scene where he's like on the phone trying to something about his
Yeah.
business, and he just screams at the kids like shut up, like that piercing loud
Yeah.
like scream that shut up, can't you see I'm on the phone? And it's like, and the way he could just come off so angry and scary, and but then he could just be so gentle as you find out with like him becoming Peter Pan with his kids and everything. It's I don't know, it's a very cool character. He does such a good
Yeah.
job at being such a kid friendly, lovable guy, but also can be very terrifying too.
Well, he also so there was also another element of this movie that I don't think I thought about until later in life, right? Because it's not something you would think about while watching it, but like he also plays a very vulnerable man in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that is such a rare hero feature,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I'm thinking specifically of two scenes. One, when he sees Hook, saying the "Run home, Jack," right? Like my Jack, and Robin Williams looks and goes, "My Jack." Right,
Yeah.
like there's just like such a sadness, like such a
Yeah.
like a drop. But then the other is when he's reaching for his kids, obviously, but he just can't
That
get them.
defeat. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like that's a really positive role model
Yeah.
for young boys, especially because like most of the time you're taught to like, nah, be tough
And
against it all. And sometimes like, yeah, I mean, those are your kids. You got to do whatever you can, but like also sometimes you can't.
like yeah, just that look of despair and defeat, realizing he just lost. Like in a sense, like I can't do it, and my kids are realizing I can't do that. And I
Yeah.
have your kids like all that all that's sinking in. They realize
Watching
I'm
their
not
kids get
superhero.
disappointed. Yeah, losing
Yeah.
that superhero appeal.
Yeah.
Also,
Hey,
uh,
glass
that
hammer.
I think that was also my first time hearing the term "lost my marbles," but like it made sense to
Yes.
me instantly. Like it was
Mm.
instantly I understood. I was like, "Ah, yes, lost your mind. Understood."
Yeah, yeah. I mean that actor, he does a good job coming up. Oh, I forget is he supposed to be? I forgot what his name is. The one who keeps going. I lost my marbles, but the way
Toodles
they.
is his name.
It's Jack, right?
Toodle Jack Pan. And I think his name was Toodles.
Yeah.
Which is also very funny because that's my character in my current D&D campaign. His name is
Oh,
Toodles. I should play more with the Lost Marbles
I know you
concept.
should.
That's
Oh,
really, I'm missing out.
that scene warmed my heart where he was able to give back the marbles,
Yeah,
and he was like so happy he found his marbles. Like, oh, that made me so happy.
I really liked. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't have made sense if it didn't happen this way. Like from a story standpoint, it would have been like hot trash. But I really appreciate that. Like he remembered he was Peter Pan, and then still went back to the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Didn't try to like just go back to being Peter Pan. Like he went back to the real world as a new person, as an
Yeah.
adult Peter Pan. Um, I don't know. I appreciate that. Although I was always confused by why Smee was cleaning up in the park. Was that Smee? Was it not Smee? Does it mean the movie was a dream? What's the
Yeah.
deal there?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
you didn't think about that, did you?
No.
What is the implication of Smee being in the park?
Like,
No one knows.
did Peter have a breakdown and all of a sudden, like, all these characters that he saw, like,
That's
he's,
the only logical explanation to me is that
like,
this
and,
was actually just a man having a panic attack at work or from work stuff, has a mental breakdown in the park,
and,
and is found by a kindly old Bob Hoskins.
and when he sees he's created these characters around them, and this guy's like, can I help you? Nah! That's what I imagine Peter Pan is just, and then
I'm
he's like,
Peter
okay.
Pan. I'm Peter Pan.
Like, all right,
Okay.
okay, sir. You have a good day.
Americans.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Altogether, like, oh, you know what? Sorry. Another thing I just wanted to make sure I also said. So this is another little fun fact. Are you familiar with Islands of Adventure
Yes.
at
Like
Universal
yeah,
Studios
universe.
Orlando?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So the first island when you walk into it is called Entryport or Entryway or something like that, and it's kind of like an
Clever
outside
name.
bazaar, right? Like really got you
See,
there.
that's where you go into. Okay, it's the
Yeah.
first one, huh?
Uh, but if do you remember that first area? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the outside shops, and it kind of looks like a bazaar.
Yeah, kind of. It's been
Anyway,
so long since I've been. I go to the other one more often. I've been to the other one way more in general than.
next time you go, I want you to keep in mind that that section of the park was originally built to be Pirate Town from Hook, but because the movie did so poorly with
This
critics, they stripped the IP off of it and just made it a generic thing. But every now and then they play the Hook music. So
just like give us a little taste of what it could have been.
yeah. They give you like a little dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun dun dun. dun. You're just like, oh, hey,
I know that. I
and
know
that's
that
done.
sound. Ah, stupid critics. And
Yeah, critics ruined everything
and but
for
it,
everyone.
and it was like a success because I know they said they went like over schedule, over budget, but the movie made way more. I think like 300 million. All I know, it said something about it was like the fourth grossest, highest grossing movie of that year. So
Fourth,
it's
fourth grossest film of all time.
grossing. It's really gross. Don't watch it.
Go watch it. It's gruesome. It's called Hook because of where he puts the hook.
It gets dark real quick, guys. It's
Oh yeah, three
fourth
seconds in.
grossing. So
Are you
gross.
guys familiar with cosmic horror? This is a cosmic horror.
It's
Um,
just be careful, guys. It's really gross. It's perfect for Halloween.
oh yeah, yeah. No, don't watch it with your kids though. Only adult, 18 plus. Rated X for hooking. I feel like there's so much more because um, they're like thinking of like the theme park. There was also like toy lines that they had originally had planned that they ultimately scrapped. There
Jeez.
was so much Hook merchandise that like we would have had if it were not for critics.
The
And like that
critics should have
bothers
thought of.
me.
And imagine how cool that would have been. Like as a kid, thinking like you're going on Captain Hook's like ship or
Yeah,
something, or
well, I
like having a
probably wouldn't want
Neverland
that.
section or
It
something.
it would be a Rufio sky coaster. Like you take his
Oh,
little, yeah, it would replace that stupid pterodactyl swing thing that they
okay.
do.
I'm just getting
Okay,
ahead.
what?
That's not stupid.
It's pretty stupid.
Give us the merch. They were cowards. They should have just gone ahead with it. We
They
want merch. We want merch. I could have had a
they
cool
cared
Captain
too
Hook
much. They
shirt
cared too much about
that would
credit.
have
Well,
had a hook.
now there is merch though because the internet has like proven them wrong. Like we once we got our voices out into the internet, like it became kind of assumed like, wait, no, Hook's fucking great. Shut the fuck up.
Right?
Right? Like we just all assume Hook is good because Hook is good.
That's why we assume it's good because it is.
Because it is good.
It is.
Hook is great.
We recommend watching it despite how gross it is.
Yeah, I give it 5 out of 5 hooks. How many hooks do you think he
He
had?
hooks up.
Because Smee changed his hook out at one point in the movie, right? Brought
Yeah.
him the polished hook. How many do you think he has? Because he has the chalk hook for writing on the chalkboard. He has the dress hook for when Peter Pan arrived. He has the oh, there was another specialty hook.
I didn't count all
Can't
the
remember.
hooks. I'm sure he has a ton. One has
Yeah.
to if you need
But
hooks.
like I guess I'm sorry, I'm gonna go off the movie for a second and more like the story for just a moment.
Okay.
I'm confused how these pirates are prosperous at all because it seems like they just hang out in this one port. And outside of that, all they seem to do is kidnap children.
Yeah, they make their
For
money with
but
ransoms.
but but no, but not for ransom. But not for ransom. They just want to kill these children
Maybe
or
this is
make
where
them
it
into
gets
pirates.
gross. Maybe they kill them and sell, you know, like deer, like cattle. You sell the
Organ
meat.
trading. Organ trading. Got it.
Exactly. It works on the. It works. You need a
Man,
kidney? I got you.
that's that makes the hook way darker.
we
Like
just we just made Hook this cute, fun, friendly movie into like this dark, gruesome. Yeah, they kidnap the kids and they use their body parts and organs.
I say that we have just given it a far more complex background, and Steven Spielberg should thank us. In fact, we should get a writing credit.
Oh, have you discussed the theory that the pirates are just aged out lost boys? No, we have not. I didn't
I
even think
I
about that.
absolutely agree with that. Like I don't think I've ever really like dove into that, but I absolutely think that most of those pirates, except for probably Captain Hook,
But
he is probably the only one.
how do they grow up
It's like a zombie thing.
how do they grow up if they're like in Neverland? Like, do they leave and then come back? Like, how do they age out and become like adults?
Ooh,
So the pirates are the
ooh.
good guys trying to save the kids. Oh,
What if they're trying to bring them away from Neverland so they can grow up? They're trying to bring them home.
yeah, back to their parents and stuff. Because they
Oh
none
my
of them
God.
remember their nobody remembers their parents. They don't know where they came from.
That makes Peter not just an immortal Glasshammer. That makes Peter like the fucking not just even a villain, like an imp god,
The
right? Like he's just
ultimate
an
kidnapper.
asshole. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he's just taking kids and being like, "Cats, come live with
yeah.
me on this magic island."
I mean, think about it. He's that guy in a van with candy and puppies. You don't go there. I mean, think about it. Guys, you can play all day. You never have to do anything that an adult tells you to do. And all
I
these
mean, that does
parents are
sound
like
great.
sad. Yeah, right. But all these parents, Dan would end up in the freaking Neverland. Like, wow, this is great.
100%. My parents knew better than to let me. They didn't even bother trying to teach me the lesson. They just like watched where I was going.
Right.
Nope, he's walking to the van. Get him. Get him.
Dan, come back.
Dan, come on.
Oh my goodness, wow. So yeah, Peter Pan is the ultimate kidnapper. He just flies into a bunch of kids' windows and just, hey
It's
there.
either this is it. This is it, guys. There's only one or two. Sorry, there's only two choices of what this is. Either Peter Pan is a kidnapper or James Hook is taking kids' organs. Those are the only outcomes. So think about it. I will leave it up to you, the audience. We stay impartial here at Retro Recall. We ask the hard hitting questions that we were all wondering.
Yeah, so like basically, are you like team Peter Pan or are you team Captain Hook? Depending on what scenario you believe in. Like if you believe in that Peter Pan's the ultimate kidnapper, then yeah, Captain Hook's not so bad. But if you believe Captain Hook is selling organs to make money for all of his
Children's
pirates,
organ.
then
Children's organs.
children, yeah, specifically, um, I guess they're easier to control. I don't know.
Well, they're just smaller. They're easier to
Then
handle.
Peter Pan is the hero. So, wow, crazy, crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
But again, those are the
I think,
only two options.
I
There
think,
is no other
I
answer.
think we just wrote a very dark version of Peter Pan.
I think you mean we just wrote our first movie.
I thank you all for
Guys,
joining us.
we're gonna put up a Kickstarter for this really weird, dark Peter Pan movie where Peter Pan is a kidnapper and Captain Hook is harvesting organs. So, depending on what tier we get to in donations.
What if they're in cahoots? What if Peter Pan is stealing the
Oh.
kids and then giving them to Captain Hook, but maybe the ones he feels bad for, he like leaves and they become the Lost Boys. Like he's like, oh, this kid is actually really cool. I don't want him to I don't want his kidneys to go to anyone, so I'm gonna keep him here.
Yeah, this one stays in my child army. I need him.
Exactly.
Huh.
Disney is gonna be like, look, sounds like a great idea, but you got to get past me.
Disney gets to say nothing on the matter. They have a "What Makes the Red Man Red" song in their Peter Pan movie.
That's
They
true.
get to step back and sit
Yeah.
down. They tried their Peter Pan once and they went racist with it right out of the
Yeah.
gate. So we'll just
Absolutely.
chill.
I feel like our idea doesn't sound so bad after you
Ours
say
is
that.
ours
Ours is
is
the child.
horrifying and it's going to be terrible, but like it's not racist.
Exactly. So suck it, Disney.
Yeah. Well, maybe don't say that because I would like to be sponsored.
Hey, Disney, you're my favorite.
I
We
love
totally-
Marvel and take me to Comic-Con.
Universal totally sucks. They make crappy movies. Sorry, Universal,
Except for
just in
that
case
one theme park with Marvel in it.
Universal, in case you do want to sponsor us, I didn't mean what I just said.
Yeah.
I burned two bridges at once.
I burnt two bridges while trying to build one.
Public domain property for the win. There we go. All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's
Peter
write
Pan
this.
is super public domain. We could literally write whatever we could have a story of Sherlock Holmes meeting Peter Pan in the Badlands with Conan the Barbarian.
I don't
Doesn't
hate
matter.
it. I don't hate that.
Ooh, we should make our own like time traveling multiverse super team comprised of all public license characters. Oh wait, that's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Anyway,
We still have Peter Pan. Um,
guys, I hope you enjoyed listening to us ramble about Hook. If you couldn't tell, we're both big fans of Hook, so this is what the podcast looks like when we agree on something.
yeah. Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
like it?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was thinking about next week, so that kind of popped in my head. I mean, like, yeah, we really agree on Hook, but when we said like this is the first thing that we really agree on, now I'm like, yeah, there's always next week. We're
Well,
not
now
gonna agree
that's
on that.
not fair. You might rewatch that movie and go, well, damn, this wasn't as bad as I thought it was at the time. I was just letting the critics influence me.
No, 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 because I feel like did the crit. I guess we'll have to talk about that next week because I wasn't sure what
Yeah,
the
we
critics
can't, we can't,
say.
we can't go too far into. Well, yeah, it's not so much the critics. This is when we got into the toxic internet fan base era of movie reviews.
Toxic. Why? Because they thought it wasn't good. Because
No,
agreed.
no, 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 no. Admittedly, like there's fair criticisms of this film. I am in no way saying that this film is this Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, as I said in last week's episode, I think is the third best Indiana Jones film. I believe that it is one step above Temple of Doom. One very small step above Temple of Doom.
I mean,
My
how
rankings,
small
for
is the
those who are
step?
curious, my ranking for those who are curious, here, I'll do it this way. Ready? Ready? You've
I
got
guess.
Last Crusade all the way at the top, right? That is, you've got
Yes.
Sean Connery swirling around with Harrison Ford. This is a butter cake, right? Come on.
I like.
All right.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna move it right down. Just again, look how little this step is. Oh, that's Raiders. Because
That's
Raiders is
really
almost
good.
perfect,
That
right?
is really
Raiders
good.
Raiders is so good, and like I want to say it's the best Indiana Jones film because like it's the iconic one. It's got the boulder, it's got the whip, it's got the German fighting.
You're thinking of Adam.
All right, right, right. So now we go to Crystal Skull, right down here.
That's pretty low.
Crystal Skull is right down here. It's pretty low because Crystal Skull is not great. It isn't. There's some aspects of it that I love, but we'll talk about that next week. And then right here is Temple of Doom.
And that's the one
Look at that.
Hooter that has the little kid.
Yeah,
Adam.
that one. Look, I absolutely love the actor who plays Short Round. He evolved into a spectacular actor, and he did a great job in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. But, 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 Short Round's very annoying.
Unwatchable? Oh, Lord. You saw Crystal Skull. I don't understand this. How? A discussion for next week.
Discussion for next week. You can tell. Do not miss this one, guys. It's going to get heated. I have a feeling we might just argue the entire time. I'm going to make a point of rewatching this film this week. I'm going to make a point. Because Hook, I didn't need to rewatch, guys. Hook
Oh,
literally
no.
is running in my head 24/7.
That one I was like, I just want to watch for funsies again. This one is going to definitely be for business, not for pleasure. Crystal Skull. So
Yeah.
I could just
I'm
feel like everything getting drained out of me. It was like, Hook! Crystal Skull.
I'm coming with notes. I'm going to come ready for a debate. This is going to be, you know what? I am going to watch Crystal Skull and Temple of Doom.
You
I'm
know,
going to watch both this week.
I love that you're gonna have points for the debate. I'm gonna be like, my argument's gonna be like, you've seen the movie. I don't have to have points. You just have to watch it and realize, wow, that sucks. But
prove
fine,
you
I'll
wrong.
have some points too. I'll bring.
I'm
I'll
gonna prove
bring.
you wrong. I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Well,
Don't worry
I've
about it.
enjoyed today's chat about Hook because I appreciate that we're both on the same page on how
Me
much
too.
we loved Robin Williams. Dustin Hoffman was the best Captain Hook ever and forever.
Absolutely. No, literally, there cannot be another Captain Hook. So
Yeah.
thank you, Dustin Hoffman. Rest in peace, Robin Williams and Bob Hoskins. You're
Yeah.
both legends.
And
Um,
Rufio, Rufio, bangerang. Okay, there we go.
oh, how did we not say Bangarang once during this whole episode? We're assholes.
We're gonna have to revisit this one.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to do Hook Part 2. Dang it.
We just sit there going Rufio, and yeah.
We should do a watch-along party where we watch Hook with people. Like we can figure that out. We could do a watch-along. I'm sure if we just get everyone to queue it up and watch along with us. We probably can't stream the movie.
Probably not unless it's on Amazon Prime, but we just be ready, everyone. 1, 2, 3. And then I have to go to the bathroom. Okay, everybody, 1, 2, 3. Pause.
Pause. Did we pause at the same time? Oh, well.
My button's stuck. Ah!
Well,
Okay.
I guess that's it. So you wanna plug the socials
Yeah,
and
I
tell
will.
people how to stay in touch?
Oh yeah. So on our About Me section, we do have our sites to our Instagram and YouTube, so you can watch this all over again and laugh on YouTube, and then we have some fun clips on.
A lot of laughs.
So many laughs. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just end.
Yes, and
Oh, what?
no, nothing. I was just yes-anding you.
Oh,
Um,
and yeah, just check out our social media. Follow.
guys, just stick with us. We're figuring it out. Look at us. Look at us. We're doing it.
Like, yep. We're...
This has been a very long week. I am very brain dead. I brought my all.
And it was good.
Yeah.
Your all was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 I'm gonna take a big nap under my computer desk, and you just wake me up in a week when it's time for the next episode.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Crystal Skull. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and I think, yeah, that's it. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out with us and chatting it up with us. Had a good night. And if you...
Tudor, Glasshammer, Mike Kuttner,
Yes.
thank you all for joining. I'm sure there are others. Let's see. Wait.
But yeah, if you haven't followed
Alice,
here or...
Harley,
I haven't
Sir.
checked. You have a good night, and yeah, we'll be back next Thursday. So, like I said, especially keep in touch with our Instagram because we do post, our next topic and whatnot, and updates on there. So.
Instagram, YouTube. You'll catch little videos. We'll do some promos. Guys, we're making the content here. So you just stick around, and and then we're gonna watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which you're all gonna love after next week. You're all going to love it. Mark my words. You're going to love it.
I don't think so, but that's okay. We all believe ya, buddy. Okay, you're scaring me. All right.
Going to love it. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. You have a good one. Bye-bye.